Alright, welcome back to another video of my action RPG tutorial series. And today we are it's gonna be a pretty quick video. It's gonna be one of the requests from the comments. We're just basically gonna make sure that this guy equips and unequips his weapon whenever he sees the player, and then before he starts to attack, he has to equip his weapon. Ignore the background, that's my new flatmate. As you can see, it looks a bit differently. So we are now two people here. So yeah, let's just jump into it. I'm gonna do everything from scratch this time, so probably run into lots of errors and things, and I'll pause the video in that case and figure stuff out. So let's just get into it. So what we have now is we have this guy. Let's see, starts with some lag. Here we go. Let me just see if we can play from here. So yeah, we have that guy over there, and now he sees us. You can see he has his weapon equipped from the start, but we want him to equip the weapon first. So yeah, that's basically what we're gonna do. So yeah, long time ago since I even touched this guy. So let's see. First, we basically need a function for him. Yeah, that's pretty much it. We only need a function for him to be able to equip and unequip the weapon. So let's start by in the skeleton. So go to the skeleton of your AI. It's this one, and you need a socket for the weapon on the back, or the unequip socket, wherever you want to have it. If you want a sheath on the side or something, I'm just gonna do it on the back. So, and I think I actually already have one for the sword that this guy is using. Let me just check. This guy is using. Where is it? He is using this great sword. This one. Okay, so we need to make sure that we have a socket for this one. We already have a socket for the equip one, which is called equip orc yada yada. So we have our details. We need to add a socket for that as well. Let's see. Perfect. So I'm just gonna select the spine, or I'm gonna select spine 3, and I'm gonna right click and I'm gonna create a socket. I'm gonna call this unequip orc hero sword, which is what the sword is called. And we are gonna add a preview asset, orc hero, and here it is. So we have the sword. Now we need to align the socket. So let's just put it like that. There we go. That looks fine. Perfect. I think that's all right. So what we need now that we have this socket is we need two states basically for the enemy character. So we need one state when he is unequipped and one state when he is equipped. He's not gonna actually move in any way, and as you can see, the unequip animation is probably fine. So what we need is, actually in this case we won't even need different states, because we're not gonna make him move whenever he's unequipped or something. He's always gonna use the same pose in the same blend space. It's just that he's gonna have his sword on his back, and then when he sees the player, he's gonna equip the sword, and then he's gonna start chasing the player. So in this case, the only thing that we actually need is the animation for equipping and unequipping. You could do it in the animation graph. I'm just gonna go ahead and do it the old-fashioned way. So I'm just gonna do it via multicast and what's it called? Anime montages. So let's create the function, and this is my costlink boss is obviously his name. So just custom event, and the first one is going to be called server equip, and the next one is going to be called, make another one, this one is going to be called MC equip. Not sure this needs to be multicasted, so let's just start without it and see if it's fine with only doing it on the server. So what do we need? We already have a static mesh, so actually let's start by doing the unequip, because it's a little bit, this is a little bit annoying, to be honest, because I set it up so that I can easily switch weapons between all my AI classes. So as you can see, he has no weapon here, the character. This is not like the regular way to do it, or it's not the easiest way to do it. So as you can see here, he has no weapon, but as soon as the game starts, he does have a weapon, and that's so I set up the weapon to spawn by blueprints and everything like that, just to be able to spawn random weapons on the enemies and things like that. So it's gonna be a little bit annoying. So firstly, we're gonna actually need to make the unequip function, because the first thing that happens is that he actually equips a weapon. So server unequip is going to be the first. Server unequip. So that's going to be the first function that I actually need. And then we're going to grab the static mesh, this one, and we're going to attach two components, I believe. Target the scene component, and the parent is going to be the mesh, and the socket name is going to be the socket name that we just made. Where is it? There it is. So it's a socket that we made before. So just copy the socket, unequip or hero sword. Copy the socket name. You can obviously name it whatever you want to. Add it here. And snap to target. Snap to target. I think snap to target. And we want to weld simulated bodies. Simulated bodies. So this is probably enough for this. So let me just check on the gameplay. Unequip, server unequip. Let's see if that works. What the hell? That's his eye, I think. That got completely out of scale. I'm just gonna press this. Let me just move this down here so that I can see it. This mesh. I chose the wrong mesh. It's this one, obviously. So yeah, it was his eyes that I attached to the wrong thing. There we go. As you can see, he now has his sword on the back. So perfect. Excuse me, the sword is still on his back because we haven't made the equip function. And I realize now that, as you saw here in his idle pose, we actually are gonna need to do different animations, a new animation, what's it called? We're gonna need to do a new animation state, because that doesn't really look nice for me. I do. He should not pretend, because now it looks like he's actually using the sword. So it should be a regular idle position instead. So let's start by doing that. Let's go into your animation blueprint and your animation graph, and we're gonna do a new state called idle. And this one is not idle, this one is just combat. The good thing is he's never ever gonna move in idle, because I'm not doing roam and stuff like that. If you would do roam and things like that, you would just use the same type of blend space that we had before. I showed this in a previous tutorial. It's just a regular blend space. Since we're not going to do that, we only need like an animation, basically. Unequip idle. I think I have some random. Let's do a warrior unequip idle. There's no transition. I know there's no transition. So for the transition between the states, go into your AI and create a bool called combat or scene player or whatever. Combat question mark. Combat question mark. That's fine. And in here, now we've already done it this way. So as you can see from my animation blueprint, I am casting to my master enemy, and I am getting the variable combat question mark. Yeah. Yeah, this tutorial is a little bit weird since I have set it up in a different way, and I never actually planned to implement this function. So you need to, I have a master AI, obviously. So you need to find that. And in here, I need my function combat question mark. Exactly. And you can delete it from here. So now in my animation blueprint, I can get combat. Perfect. And then I'm going to promote it to a variable here as well. And I'm going to set it. So every time the animation updates, we're going to check if we are in combat. And if we are in combat, we're going to set the variable here as well. And we're going to call it combat here as well. So now we have this variable that will control the transitions. So we go back into the transition states, and if we are in combat, we are gonna transition to the combat mode, and if we are not in combat, we are gonna transition to idle. So yeah, so that's how you control basically the equip and unequip, and I'm gonna show you the real proper way to do it. In that case, we're actually gonna do two states. No, we're not gonna do it that way. That's just annoying. It depends if you want to be able to move when you equip or unequip. Because if you do a root motion animation montage, the way we have done attacks and dodge rolls before, then the AI won't move when he equips his weapon. So that's one way to do it. If you want the AI to move, or that's the easy way to do it. If you want the AI to be able to move while he equips his sword and things like that, that is pretty easy as well. So I'm gonna show you how to do it that way, because I guess a lot of people will want that. So in that case, we need two states, one called equip and one called unequip. So for equipping, when we are sorry, I got them the other way around because this is the idle state. Usually idle will probably be the enter transition. I'm not doing it that way for reasons. Unequip. So it is mirrored now because I start in the combat because of the way I have set stuff up from before, but you can easily do idle as well. So this is one way to do it. So if we are not in combat, we're gonna transition there, and if we are in combat, we're gonna transition to. If we are in combat, we're gonna transition to the combat state. Perfect. And I'm just gonna use the lens space, this one. Perfect. So in these different states, what we want to do now, if you want to be able to move, you need to have a blend space because the character's legs will still move. So what we'll do is we will blend the upper body part with the lower body part. So the upper parts of the body will play the equip and unequip animation, while the legs still move. So to blend the animations, we're going to go into the unequip state, and we're going to get a node called, I do not remember what it's called, I think it's called layered blend per bone, yeah, there we go, perfect. And the base pose is going to be the blend space, so the base pose is the pose that are on the ground in this case. And we're going to select the layer blend per bone, and we're going to add an array element. And what we're going to add is the name of the bone, which is going to be spine01, I think. Let me just double check that. Go into your skeleton. So yeah, spine01 is the lower one, so it's this one. This is where we want to blend our animation. So spine01 is with I think this is capital case sensitive, so spine with a small s. Spine, so perfect. And oh, this is annoying. Blend space, sorry. Yeah, ignore that. It's a regular blend space. I've just set it up this way. And we need an equip animation. Oh wait, are we on the? We are on the unequip. So we need an unequip animation. So go into your asset browser. I'm sure you have an unequip animation. Do we have maybe this one? Why is this one called equip? Ah, okay, yeah, sorry, it's an idle animation. Not idle. We're just gonna use an unequip. I guess that works. I don't really like it, so let's use another one. Okay, let's go with this one. It's fine. There we go. Great. And we increase the speed forward. So now you can see in the preview, if we are 600 speed, he moves and he unequips his sword. So that's fine. And we're just gonna grab this again. I'm gonna go back to the unequip. Ah, I did it the wrong way again, didn't I? Unequip to idle, equip to combat. Yeah, okay, perfect. So now we need unequip, not unequip this time. Equip, preferably a great sword animation again. So yeah, that's perfect. Equip. We will end again. Let's see. Save the settings. Details array, spline 01. Perfect. And this is an equip animation. So there we have the two states, and also when we are not in combat, we're gonna initiate this blend. So it's gonna equip, but then we're gonna go back to the complete idle. So go back into this unequip to idle node and just type in time remaining, and we're gonna get the time remaining ratio from Frank RPG Greatsword Unequip, and we're gonna check that it has less time left than 0.1 seconds. So if we are in the transition state, this starts to play. When there's 0.1 seconds left of this one, we transition to the idle one. And we're gonna do the same way here. Time remaining. With this one, it's gonna be the equip ratio, and check if there's the time left is less than 0.1. We can transition into the last part. Perfect. What we need to do now, let's just check so that this works for now. So go into this one. I think I have a gameplay somewhere. We can play. Do we even need this unequip function? Yeah, we do. So let's delete. Okay, they can. What we're also gonna do is we're gonna set combat, because remember that's the float that we are actually controlling. So on begin play, we are setting combat to not true. We are unequipping the weapon. So let's just see if we actually manage to catch a glimpse of the animation. Not, because we are not sure if we did it or not. Yeah, okay, yeah, actually we will know, because as you can see now he is in the idle pose. We're never setting him to combat again, so it's that he acts like this. Just trying to move all down. So yeah, perfect. That works. As you can see, he was in the idle position. Also, the begin play is always replicated, I think, but let me just check. On the client. Oh, then it's from here, sorry. Take from here. And we drag in the client. And as you can see, we actually managed to see the animation there as well. I'm not sure that you can see it because I'm looking at my other screen now. It's a little bit smaller, but you can see it's the same. Perfect. So it's working. So yeah. next part is, so this, we know that this stuff is working. So basically the only thing we need to do now is time this thing, it's basically to time the equip and unequip functions with the timing of the sword switching places from the hand to the back and vice versa. And we also need to obviously do the equip function and make sure to turn this on when he sees the player. So when he sees the player, we are gonna do this one, and obviously I think that server might not be enough here, but let's try it. Server unequip, that works, so that's fine. That's this one, and it's not even replicated and it works anyway. Why does it do that? Is it because the tree itself is replicated? Okay, good. Let's try to just, this is not gonna work, but let's just try to do it. So on the server equip, we set combat. We set the combat so that he transitions from idle to combat. And we also need to switch the mesh, just like we did here. But now we're going to switch the socket, because it's not going to be the unequip socket this time. This time it's going to be equip socket, because we are equipping it. And it's called equip or cure a great sword, and not unequip. So there we go. Perfect. And also we need a slight delay here, because otherwise as soon as we initiate this function, the mesh is gonna swap, but when the animation starts he's gonna reach back, pull to grab his sword, and here we need to snap the sword to the hand. So we need a delay of, I have no idea how long that animation is, so let's check it out. Equip. As you can see, he reaches and we want him to grab his sword there, so it's 0.35 seconds. So delay 0.35 seconds should be fine. And on pawn sensing, find closest player, equip. It's called server equip. I probably need to do this on the server, but let's just see if it works. It's always better to not do stuff on the network unnecessarily. We can see he is unequipped. I'm not sure you can see this to be honest. And we are now testing on the client as well. It's gonna be a bit laggy. You can see that it's not working. At least he has the sword. So that part worked. Why is he getting back? Okay, it almost worked, but he's not transitioned into the other state. And that's because it's not run on the server. But it is. It's because this one is not replicated. Sorry. Combat replicated. That should I believe. Let's try again. On the client. And it sure looks like his sword. Yeah, there we go. So we can see that it works now. So that's nice. The problem is it started to attack way too quick. So we did never actually see the animation. So we need to increase his sight radius and back up a little bit. Because I turned it down a lot just for testing, so let's increase it to 2000 or something. Because the problem was he started to attack and then that animation took over before we could see, before we even saw the equip animation. So from here, I'm not sure what the attack radius is on him, but there you see. So perfect. It's a little bit laggy and stuff like that, but that's because I'm just gonna do it one more time to show you without lag with only the just with full screen and everything, just so we can see. It's import. New editor window. Why did that not work? Should work. Let's play from here. I hope you see. I'm seeing it at least. So yeah, it's working. We can maybe lower it a little bit. How can we do this better to show you? Yeah. It's working. Not selected viewport. I want to extend alone editor window. Why did that not work? New editor window. Oh, it's working now at least. Okay, let's just run from here. And I'll show you. There he is. Did you see it? It's working like a charm. Super high. Perfect. So that's how to do it. Now, very complicated and a long tutorial for something that should take 5 minutes to explain. Also, as I said before, this is the complicated way to do it. So you could actually see him moving at the same time as equipping and unequipping. The easier way to do it would probably be to just go into your AI class, and instead of doing it this way, you just initiate a multicast. So whenever, and also he should probably start unarmed, because I'm starting in combat mode from the start with my AI classes, because this is not something that I'm using in my game. But yeah, there you go. This turned out way too complicated, so just write in the comments if there's any questions or anything that pop up, and I will try to explain it one more time. And yeah, thanks, bye, peace out. Also, please don't forget to subscribe. I'm supposed to say that at the start of the video, but I always forget. But almost 100 viewers now. Really cool. Yeah, thanks, bye.